UEFA 2024 is finally over, and we're going to be ranking every team in the tournament. So we're just going to start off with the teams that went out in the group stage. Starting off with Hungary, I'm going to give them a D. It would have been an F if they didn't get that win against Scotland. I just thought they didn't really bring much. Comfortable loss against Switzerland, comfortable loss against Germany, and then the last minute goal against Scotland. And yeah, they were kind of hyped up to kind of maybe progress to the next round, but it always didn't look like they'd make anything, out of their appearance. Scotland, same thing. I give them a D as well. I think the only silver lining was the game against Switzerland where they got the draw, and they did all right against Hungary, but they didn't take their chances, and that ultimately cost them as well. So a D for them. Into Group B, Croatia, again D minus. I thought they'd do a lot better than they actually did. They got battered in the first game by Spain. 3-0 was actually, very, very generous, in my opinion. Then the game against Albania, where they came back only to concede a last minute goal. And then the game against Italy as well. Took the lead from the penalty spot and then just sat back and, conceded that last minute goal as well. And really for Croatia, they should have had 6 points and they ended up with 2, and they ended up getting knocked out just because they couldn't finish games. And Albania, who came bottom of the group, but I'm going to give them a C minus. I thought they were pretty good in the first game against Italy. They started really fast, and the second half as well, they were very good. Had a few chances. Donnarumma made a great save at the end. So I think they acquitted themselves very well for the competition they played against. Only lost 1-0 to Spain as well and got that draw, obviously, against Croatia. I think they deserved more than a point, but that's what they got in the end. Serbia, again, a D minus. Always hyped up Serbia. They've got a lot of very good players, people like Vlahovic, Milinkovic, Savic, but they just flatter to deceive in major competitions. Like, I just don't see them, causing too many problems. I just don't see them like breaking games open. And again, another tournament where Serbia have, failed to, make an impact on the tournament. Group D now, Poland. Again, same thing. I didn't really watch many of Poland's games, but I'm going to give them a D as well. It's just really the end of the era for Poland. Some of their better players, Szczesny, Lewandowski, I think will probably, step away from the team. And I don't really see a big future for Poland. I think it might be a rebuild. Might have to find some younger players and, build up the team again. They have had some success in previous tournaments, but they've had more failures, and this one was another failure, only getting 1 point as well. In Group E, Ukraine, they got 4 points, but I still think it's a failure. I'll give them a C. I'll give them a C minus. They did only lose one game. They were very unlucky to go out, but I expected big things from Ukraine, especially looking at them in the qualifiers. They're pretty good in the qualifiers, and they got a pretty decent team as well. I think they should have done better. I think they should have beaten Belgium. They had a lot of chances in that last game as well. And the first game as well was very disappointing. Losing 3-0 to Romania for them was unacceptable. In Group F, Czech Republic, I'm going to give them a D minus as well. First game against Portugal offered absolutely nothing, and then managed to get a goal out of nowhere. Obviously, were unlucky to concede. Then losing to drawing against Georgia, again, a team that on paper they should be beating, and then obviously losing the last game to Turkey. Czech Republic, a team not really flushed with quality, and they bowed out early as well. We're going to go to the teams that got knocked out now in the last 16. We'll start off with Georgia, and for me it was an A for Georgia, or a B. We'll give them. Should we give them an A or should we give them a B? I'm going to give Georgia. I'm going to give them an A. I think for a team of their size, obviously going out to Spain 4-1, but first game against Turkey, I thought they were fantastic. I thought they deserved a draw, and they kind of got the sucker punch at the end. They had some really good chances. And then the game against Czech Republic as well, they should have won it at the end. The guy had a fantastic chance at the end. And then to beat Portugal 2-0, although Portugal had nothing on the game, to beat them 2-0 was a fantastic result. They had Mika Tadze, having a breakout tournament as well, ended up being top scorer, or joint top scorer of about 200 people. But yeah, for a team that qualified through Nations League, I thought they acquitted themselves very well, and they'd be very proud that they actually managed to get to the round of 16, because I think anything more than that and they'd be thinking, pulling their leg. The next team that went out was Denmark. I give them a C. Solid, but not spectacular. 3 draws in the group stage. I thought they were all right against England. I thought they were very good against England. After the England goal, I thought they were the better team. But again, in the game against Germany, I thought they were quite unlucky. But they just didn't look like they were going to ever beat Germany. Like, they just had a step lower in quality than the Germans in that game. Next up, we're going to go to Slovenia, and they actually got 3 points as well. They were in Denmark's group. I'm going to go a bit better for them. I'm going to give them a B. They were solid, and again, as a lower, team, I thought getting out of the group is a great achievement for a team like Slovenia, and then pushing Portugal to penalties as well was fantastic for them. I thought they'd have the mental edge with Ronaldo missing the penalty in extra time, but the players just froze on the big stage, and that was the reason why they went out. The penalty takers just crumbled under pressure. Next up is Belgium. I'm going to give them a D, to be honest. Belgium again, talent coming out of the rears. But again, a round of 16 failure. And people say, oh, you're being too harsh on Belgium. Or like a lot of, media being too harsh on Belgium's golden generation. They got third in the World Cup. Yeah, but this is a team that were number one for a large portion of time. And apart from that third place, they really haven't flattered. They flattered to deceive in major competitions, and they got to the quarterfinals last Euros, but step back again for Belgium. Only the one win. I thought they weren't great in the group stage. I thought again they played all right against France, but you always thought that France would eventually break through, and they got a bit of luck, but that was the end for Belgium. Romania, we're going to give them a B as well. Top the group, looked very good in the first game, played very good football as well, but eventually ran out of steam. But again, another team that would have been happy with a round of 16, and they managed to kind of achieve their aims. Next up is Austria, and I am going to give them a B as well. Group stage, I would have given them an A plus, but knockout stage is maybe a C minus or a D. They did very well in the group and managed to top the group as well. I thought they were very unlucky against France. I thought they acquitted themselves very well. Big win over Poland, and then coming back and beating the Netherlands. But the loss against Turkey as well will really sting them. And yeah, I thought Austria could have, gone a lot further. I thought they still had plenty in the tank, and I think they'd be very disappointed that they got knocked out in that manner. The next team was Slovakia, and we are going to give them a B as well. Decent in their group, big win over Belgium, and then they should have beaten England realistically. They kind of held out and were quite pragmatic in their approach after they scored the goal. As I said, England grabbing the last minute winner, equaliser to take it extra time, and then they got the winner. And Slovakia again, another, as we say, we're going to keep saying it because there's a lot of smaller teams that did qualify for that round of 16. They'll be happy that they got that far, but I think when they look back at it, they'll think that they should have, achieved more. And the last team are Italy. I think D minus. I think we were awful. I honestly do. I think I'm going to go more into depth because I actually did watch all of Italy's games. First game against Albania, we started off slow. I thought we were brilliant in the first half, but then took off the gas. Against Spain, we were just non-existent. They just passed the ball around us the whole game, and we just had no answer to that. And again, Croatia, void of ideas. And then when we had to attack, we did, and we were lucky to, get that goal in the last minute. It was a fantastic goal. But again, against Switzerland, just outplayed. Switzerland just outplayed us in every facet of the game. It wasn't even fair. Moving on, Germany, we're going to give them a B. Fantastic, in their games. In the group stage, they were, very good. Battering Scotland in the first game. And then, beating Hungary as well, getting that draw in the last game. But they went on to beat Denmark, as we talked about. A little bit controversy in that game, but I thought they were easily the better team. If Kai Havertz finished his dinner, I thought they'd win by 3 or 4 goals in that game. And then they had the heartbreaker against Spain. They managed to get back in the game. Were playing very well. Germany, I thought it could have gone either way with them. They did come into the tournament with a lot of momentum, but last year they were talked about as being a team that weren't going to achieve anything. So I think the future's bright for Germany, and I think they showed it. Their performance against Spain was very good, and obviously they had that heartbreak, and it didn't end well. But I think the players can hold their heads up high. I don't think they disgrace themselves. The second team that went out in the quarterfinals were Portugal, and didn't think much of Portugal in this tournament. I'm going to give them a C. Might even be a C minus. I thought they were very good against Turkey. I think that was the peak of their performance. I thought they were poor against Czech Republic. Just had no idea, no creativity as well. But I think, like I said, they were good against Turkey, very good. And then they had that defeat against Georgia, which didn't really matter. Struggled to beat Slovenia, beat them on penalties, and then played well against France. Rafa Leao, who's fantastic in that game against France, but they just couldn't get past them. And they eventually went out, and Portugal, another team, what will they do post Ronaldo? Because I don't see him coming back for the World Cup. He might do, but I just think they can maybe should move on from him, to be honest. I he didn't have the legs for this tournament. The third team that got knocked out in the quarters were Turkey. I'm going to give Turkey a B+. I thought they were very good in this tournament. Great game against Georgia in the first game. I thought they were, fantastic. I know I said Georgia were unlucky, but I thought Turkey were very good in that game as well. They created a lot. A lot of, very good players in their team. A lot of players put in some good performances. And you got to remember Demirel's magical performance against Austria. I thought they were fantastic against Austria, because I thought Austria were probably like favourites to beat them. And Turkey again put in a good performance against the Netherlands. And 15, 20 minutes to go, you'd think they could hold on, but it just slipped away from them. And another disappointing tournament. But I think Turkey will be proud. I think they did come in as people's dark horses, but I didn't see them as a quarterfinal team. I thought they'd go through to the round of 16, but not really do much else. But I thought they were unlucky in the game against Netherlands, and they can be proud of what they did. And the last team from the quarterfinals was Switzerland. I'm going to give them an A. I thought Switzerland were fantastic. From the group stage, beating Hungary convincingly. They had the draw, obviously, against Scotland. But then they drew against Germany as well. They were fantastic against Italy. I can't even knock them. They fucking played us out of the park. They were immense. And then against England, I thought they were a better team as well. England getting a late goal and then winning on penalties. But yeah, Switzerland continuing on their, upward trajectory. They were very good at the last Euros as well, went out on penalties to France then. And similarly, they were good. They played really good football. They're very organised, and I think they had a great tournament. Moving on now to our losing semi-finalists, France. This is going to be controversial. I'm going to give France a C. I don't think France played well at all. They only scored one goal from open play. Have had to do it in penalties in the quarterfinals in a really turgid affair against Portugal, and another really edgy affair against Belgium in the round of 16, where they got an own goal to win. But even in their group, not convincing at all. Own goal against Austria, who I thought were the better team in a large portion of the game. Obviously, they had the game against Netherlands with the controversial disallowed goal, and then drawing to Poland, who, didn't really, offer much in the other games in the group. So I think for a team with that amount of talent, with that amount of ability, I just think they kind of, underachieved. I think France should have got to the final, with that team, but they didn't manage to do it, and they didn't really play in convincing manner as well. We'll say that. The other team that did make it to the semi-final was the Netherlands, and I'm going to give them a B. I didn't really think much of the Netherlands going into this tournament. I know a lot of people had them as a team to kind of either go a long way or be out in the first round. I thought they could have easily, be a team that could go out early, especially in the group that they had as well. You had Poland being maybe a potential banana skin, as well as Austria. They did well to come back against Poland in the first game. I think they were unlucky not to beat France with that disallowed goal. I think it should have been allowed. I don't think the keeper was getting to that ball, no matter how, people perceive that. And then they did succumb to a loss against Austria, but they were already through. In their game in the round of 16 against Romania, they were very good. They soaked up the Romanian pressure and really punished them towards the end of the game. Again, against Turkey, great character shown. Against England, I thought they were all right. They took the lead. Great finish from Javi Simmons. I think he's got a bright future. I think they were a bit unlucky on the penalty. I know Dumfries' foot was a bit high, but I think the ball was gone. I just don't think it was a clear and obvious error in my eyes. But yeah, I think Netherlands, will be pleased. Obviously, disappointed that they didn't get to the final and win it. But I think the overall performances that they put in, they can be proud of. So we're going to go through now to the final, which took place tonight. England losing 2-1 to Spain. We're going to go on and talk about Spain later, but we're going to talk about England first. And this is a really controversial one. You could say an A, you could say a C. I'm going to give England a B. I'm going to give England a B. I thought group stage wise, again, just very, very lethargic. Honestly, I watched some of the games, watched a game with my mates as well, and I could see the kind of, angst on their faces when they see England play ball. First game against Serbia, took the lead early on, Jude Bellingham with a header, and then kind of sat back. Same thing against Denmark. Early goal from Kane, sat back, and this time Denmark did actually get the goal. And, again, same thing against Slovenia. Just no, quality, in attack. And they did go through. They were top of the group, and, that's a silver lining. But it just didn't really progress from there. And it was just moments of quality that saved them. We talk about the Slovakia game as well. England didn't have a shot on target until Jude Bellingham scored that overhead kick. England are a team full of superstars. Like, this is not, a team that have one or two world-class players. You've got talent all over the pitch, and you're not taking shots and you're not creating chances against Slovakia. Like, there's problems, that's tactical problems. The game against Switzerland, I thought England were a lot better. I thought they improved their performance. Subs were better as well. Saka played well in that game. A lot of other players stepped up in that game against Switzerland. And the Netherlands game as well. I thought they were good in that game. The subs were on point. And, people started believing in Southgate. And then the game tonight kind of flipped them back to, reset their minds back to boring Southgate ball and no clues and no formations and, stuff like that. And although, like we say, Southgate is, on paper, results-wise, has done a fantastic job, 2 Euros finals, World Cup semi-final, the results are there, but England have got a lot of quality. England have got lots of world-class players and a very, the depth is there as well. I think England have got, a very strong team depth-wise, one of the best in the world. And England came into this tournament as favourites. So to say that they shouldn't be getting to the final is kind of an understatement. I think they should. On paper, they've got a very good team, but just the sitting back and kind of, we only, go and attack when we're losing mentality is really weird. And the Harry Kane dropping deep into the pockets and receiving the ball and stuff like that. He's not a target man. Harry Kane's a poacher. Harry Kane should be in that box and he's a finisher. Harry Kane's a finisher. He should do what he's, Gareth Southgate should be telling Harry Kane, you're good at finishing, get in the box. I don't want you flipping 20 yards up the pitch collecting a ball and feeding it to a midfielder. How is that gonna achieve anything? And I think Gareth Southgate can be criticised, but overall, I think the kind of play as well, sometimes the players have got to take the ball by the horns and, you know, show some kind of character. And I didn't see much character from the England players. You know, people like Harry Kane. You know, we go on, Harry Kane's had a great England career. He's had a fantastic, you can't deny that. But this tournament, even though he scored 3 goals, one was a penalty. I can't remember the goal. The goal against Denmark was a kind of, you know, scrappy one, and he just managed to get in. But like we said, like he's had a lot more misses than hits in this tournament. And is it the end of the road for him, or does he give it one more tournament? Because he's getting on. I think he's 31 now, so I think maybe the World Cup. But I think Gareth Southgate, you know, it might have been the final nail in the coffin, because, like I said, like people can't take Southgate ball anymore, because England should be stepping on people's necks. Like I said, in the final against Italy in 2021, England should have stepped on our necks. When Luke Shaw scored that goal, England should have stepped on Italy's neck. They were vulnerable and they didn't, and that's why they lost, because they let Italy get into the game, grow. We got the equaliser and we deserved to win, simply because England were negative. And it's happened again today. They go behind, they start to play, they get the equaliser, Cole Palmer, they got the momentum, and then they sit off and they concede a goal. And it's just not good enough, like, for a team of that quality. But we are going to move on, because I'm waffling too much, and we're going to talk about Spain, who easily were the best team in the tournament. You cannot deny that Spain were miles, easily the best team. I think Germany might have been the second best team in the tournament, and Spain beat them, beat France, you know, smacked up Georgia, destroyed Italy, battered Croatia. Like, 7 wins in a row for Spain. Fantastic. I'm giving them an A+, by the way. Like, you can't give them anything else. They won the tournament, 7 wins. Yeah, fantastic. For me, the standout players were, for me, Yamal and Williams were fantastic. Fabian Ruiz was great as well. Marc Cucurella at the back. He had a good tournament, but he'll go back to Chelsea and be shit. Because I don't know, because he just heart's not in Chelsea. That's the thing. Dani Olmo popped up with 3 goals out of nowhere. But yeah, I think Yamal, Nico Williams was a threat. He, against Italy, he was fantastic. Tonight again against England, he was fantastic. I thought 2-1 was a flattering scoreline tonight. I thought Spain could have easily got 4 or 5. Yamal had some really good chances. Even Williams had some good chances as well. Spain thoroughly deserved to win it. And yeah, I was surprised Rodri got player of the tournament as well. I thought Yamal could have actually got it, or Nico Williams. I thought they were fantastic. And by the way, as well, I just want to add, I know I clown him a lot, but Morata had a very good game. He had a very good game. He held the ball up fantastically tonight against the England defenders. And I thought maybe when he went off, they kind of missed a trick. But they did manage to, you know, eventually get the win. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For a tournament that at times was very robotic, but it had its fair share of moments, you know. There was a lot of kind of, you know, sensational moments. We obviously had the Jude Bellingham scissor kick. We had the Italy last-minute goal from Zaccagni. We had, you know, the drama in Group E with all the teams on 4 points. We had the last-minute winners from Portugal, the late goals from Albania against Croatia. We had Georgia qualifying. So we had a lot of, you know, very, very, very good moments. The football at times was, you know, a bit boring, but eventually, like, it's going to happen in tournaments. But yeah, that's the end. If you liked this video, If you're here till the end, can you like the video, please? I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.